minus P minus U.
Give it to me again.
A equals 2 over 3 and minus P minus 1.
I think that's right too.
I put that.
All right, so negative 2n plus 3p plus 3 gets divided by, y'all did divide by negative 3, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's how this became a minus. So positive 2/3 n minus p plus minus 1. That is correct.
Yes.
All right, so that's all we're going to cover on literal equations. Any questions on those for right now? All right, hold on to that page. Let's move on to the circles word problems. The circles word problem has 4 word problems in boxes and then 2 at the bottom. This is an example of what that sheet looks like. This is the one we're getting ready to go over now. All right. So here we go. Number 11. Addie decorates round cakes. She's putting ribbon around a cake, so that's circumference. And the diameter is 18 inches. How long does the ribbon need to be? Let's see. So circumference is equal to pi times the diameter. The diameter is 18, so the circumference is equal to 18 pi. We needed to write that 3 different ways. So we can have 18 pi, or we can multiply 18 times pi.
3.14. It's 56.5.
56.5. Or we need to write it using 22 over 7 for pi. We're going to do 18 times 22 over 7.
Yes. 56.47.
396
over 7.
over 7. Inches. Inches and inches. All 3 answers.
What if you put 56 and 4 sevenths?
That's fine. All right, number 12. Everybody okay with number 11?
Wait. What was the estimate again? Was that the what's called 18?
Just write all 3 down and make sure you have them. Don't worry about what is, okay? Just make sure you know how to represent them all 3 ways. All right, number 12. A landscape company is putting small stones around a circular fish pond. They're putting stones around the pond. And the pond has a diameter of 5.5 yards. If each bag of stones fills a distance of 4 yards, how many bags do they need? 5. Okay, so we need circumference, correct? Pi times the diameter. 5.5 times pi. That's right so far, right? Yeah. All right, so 5.5 pi is equal to 17.3 yards. And if they're putting them every 4, we need to divide this by 4. And when you take 17.3 and divide it by 4, you get 4.31. Well, technically 3.2. So you really need 5 bags to take care of that extra that you have left over. There's a second part to this question that says, I will need 5 bags of stones to cover the fish pond that has an area of blank. So we also have to find the area, knowing that the diameter is 5.5. What's half of that diameter, you all? 2.75 yards is the radius. All right, so then the area is going to be equal to pi r squared. 2.75, uh-oh,
2.75 squared.
is
Uh,
7.56 pi. Is that right? I forgot to multiply it by pi.
yeah.
All right, so 23.7 yards squared is the area.
Would you run it to the nearest 10?
You can, yeah.
So
Yes.
we're gonna be 23.8.
It's 23.746.
Oh.
Any other questions? All right, number 13. Diana is painting a circular mural. There's a circle on her wall. Her mural is going to have a diameter of 7 feet. How much space will she be painting? So she's painting all of this. That's going to be area where the diameter is 7. Okay, here we go. Area is equal to pi r squared. If the diameter is 7, the radius is 3.5. 3.5 squared is 12.25 pi. Or we can take 12.25 and multiply it by pi, and we get 38.5 feet squared. Now, if we were to represent this as 22 over 7, we will need to take 12 and a quarter and multiply that by 22 over 7. 12 times 4 is 48 plus 1 is 49 fourths. So we have 49 fourths that we're going to multiply by 22 over 7. I'm going to cancel these and make it 11 and 2. So I won't have to reduce too much at the end. 49 times 11 is over what? 539 over 14, 38.5 feet squared. So 3 ways to represent this area. 12 and a quarter pi square feet, 38 and a half square feet, or 539 fourteenths square feet.
So are you allowed to answer it 12.25 pi like you did?
Yeah, and I think like in a lot of cases it may be a multiple choice. And so that's why we're answering them 3 different ways. Yes.
If let's say if it was like a written response, would we get it wrong if we put pi? If we forgot to put pi and
No, if it's a written response, any 3 of these will work, unless it tells you to answer the specific way.
But do we have to put pi and feet squared?
Yeah. That's all a part of the answers. If you don't put pi, then it's not right. All right, 14. 14 says Mrs. Vickers is covering her student work table with chalk paper. We're going to assume that it's a circle page, a circle table. Since it's being covered, that's the area. Radius is 3.8 feet. How much paper will she need? Okay, here we go. Area is pi r squared. 3.8 squared is 14.44 pi. There's one answer right there. Now, you can take that and multiply it by pi to get your second answer. I am not gonna worry about 22/7 for this, okay? But if you can do it and you do it, great. It would be 14 and 44 100s. Let's see if you can follow me. 14 and 44 100s is really equal to 14 and 22 50ths, which is equal to 14 and 11 25ths. Everybody okay with that, right? Okay. 14 times 25 plus the 11 will change this to 361 over 25. That 361 over 25 is going to get multiplied by pi, which is 22/7. So multiply fractions, you multiply straight across. 361 times 22 is 90/25. 25 times 7 is 150. If we continue, we can break this down. I think I can divide 925 by 25, and I get 361. I divide 150 by 25, and I get 6 feet squared. Wow, that's amazing. I don't know if that's correct though.
Oh, 45, 43.
45.3 is right. I wonder if 361 divided by 6 is.
I thought
Oh, that's wrong.
453 over 10 for the fraction one.
453 over 10.
Yeah. That's what I got.
So where did I mess up?
61 times 22.
I think
is
as the, when you go 9,025.
Yeah, when you look at mine.
Okay, so 361 times 22
Yes.
is oh, that's why I didn't. Okay, 7942, and then so this won't work. 7942 and 150 can both be divided by 2. 3971 over 75. Is that what y'all have?
No.
It's still wrong.
What happened? Where? Okay, so what did I do wrong right here?
10. Is that what you got?
Okay, so I had some mistakes. It's 7942 over 175. And we can leave it like that. Let's move on to number 15. All right, 15 and 16 are related because they are talking about a dog pen. Here's a little dog house. He's tied to a little chain, and he can go in a circle, but it's a semicircle. Okay, this was a house. This is a little dog house. The diameter is 14 feet. So across here is 14, which means that the radius is 7. We need to find the perimeter, which is the circumference. Circumference is equal to pi times the diameter. The diameter is 14. So 14 pi, but we need to divide by 2 because it's a semicircle. So 7 pi. Or 22
Yes.
feet. And then on number 16, the same dog pen is going to be covered inside. So we need to find the area of pi r squared when r is 7. 49 pi, but we need to divide that by 2 because it's a semicircle. So, what is that? 28.5? Does that sound good?
24, no,
24.
25.
0.5 pi feet squared. And we can stop right there. Okay. Questions?
I don't know how you got 24.5.
Yeah, 17.
I
beat
20.
40 divided by 2 is 20. And
I
I
got
got
I got
74.5.
4.5, so you added together 20.
49 divided by 2 is
I
24.5.
got 21.98.
Oh,
yeah,
so you just leave the pi? just
You
don't
leave the
know?
pi.
Oh.
If you don't want to leave the pi, then multiply 24.5 by 3.14.
Can you please keep there for a second?
All right. I'll leave it here for a moment.
So if I put my final answer as like 24.5 times 3.14, would I still get it right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I got it wrong.
Okay, that's it for circles. Are there any questions?
No. I'm done.
All right, let's move on to the next part.
Oh, I got 76.
Circles to angles.
93. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it was
Okay, on the circles to angles, the first thing we have to do is draw a circle.
Yes. Wow. Yes, ma'am.
How many degrees are there in a circle? How many degrees are there in a circle?
Mama, why would you throw it?
All right, so number one, draw a circle. Did we have to split it in half?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we had to split it in half. This is the paper that we're talking about. This is what that paper looks like. I don't have, it will be up there. I don't have any more copies.
Like the cringy, like the way that, like the one kid.
This is the paper. If there are any more, it'll be up there. Check the stand too. Check the blue stand.
Because it's a first trap. This is the first trap. Look, this is right.
Get away. I'm taking your phone away. Oh, you do it again. Get out. Get out. You just made it look the way I did it. You have to go.
You have to like look at the camera in the eyes before you like.
No, you have to. You have to go.
All right, we don't have this time, y'all. Start talking. All right, so let's go through it. Here we go. Number one. Draw a circle, divide it in half. If a circle is, I'm not recording this. Those were absent. All right, so we were talking about vertical angles. What can you tell me about these angles?
Vertical angles are congruent.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Show me.
Duck, duck, goose, goose.
All right, now look what I drew while y'all were doing that. Duck, duck, goose, goose. These one arcs means that this angle is congruent to that angle.
Oh, yeah.
These double arcs mean that this angle is congruent to that angle.
Uh-huh.
Everybody understand?
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Supplementary angles are. Did anybody find the definition?
Sum up to 180 degrees. I was talking.
All right. Two angles equals 90 degrees. That will be angles on a line.
Oh.
Something like that.
I just said angles that sum up to 180.
There's got to be two angles, just two.
I thought it was. Oh, yeah, 2 angles. I thought it was 80. 180.
180.
Yeah. Yep.
180.
Yep.
So look, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. Look how I wrote it.
Wait.
The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees.
Okay. Yes, I understand.
All right, complementary angles.
Two angles whose sum is 90 degrees.
Two angles equals 90 degrees. All right, they make the letter L. One can be really small, an acute angle. The other one can be not as acute. But right angles will have this little square in the corner to show that they are totally 90 degrees. If this is angle X and this is angle Y, we would say the measure of angle X plus the measure of angle Y equals 90 degrees.
Easy.
Easy. Stop.
What? Why?
Okay, now, is the next word adjacent or is the next word vertical? Okay, well, we know that one. Vertical angles,
Are congruent.
two angles that are congruent. Look at the symbol for congruent. It's a squiggly line with an equal sign.
What? Bro.
Let's draw an X and label it 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we are going to write that the measure of angle 1 is congruent to the measure of angle 3. Pay attention. Stop the talking. We're going to also write that the measure of angle 2 is congruent to the measure of angle 4. What is the last one? Adjacent, right?
Yes.
Okay, adjacent angles are angles that are next to each other. In this illustration, 1 and 4 are adjacent, 2 and 3 are adjacent, 3 and 4 are adjacent, 1 and 4 are adjacent. So, adjacent angles
Two angles that are side by side and share a common vertex inside.
Ooh, I like that. They have a common vertex.
Do we write this at the same?
They do not overlap. All right, so here are some adjacent angles. And then there was a statement or question at the bottom of that. And it said, what does adjacent rooms mean? What you got?
So like how two rooms are like directly next to each other, but they both kind of like share like the wall, like how this wall, they share another wall. So you can think
Oh,
of like how like adjacent angles, they both share like a common vertex.
so adjacent rooms are next to each other and share a common wall. I like that. Adjacent angles. What did y'all say adjacent angles share?
A common vertex.
Adjacent angles share a common vertex. The vertex that my adjacent angles share is this right here. The vertex is where they meet. The point where they meet, this is a vertex. It's where this angle meets this angle. Okay, are we done with that paper?
Yes.
Whew, let's take a break. I need y'all to stop talking so we can get finished. We only have like 10 minutes and it's gonna take us every bit of the 10 minutes to get through this. Okay. Angle measurements to solve multi-step equations. First, identify the type of angle, determine the relationship between those two angles, and then solve the equation. This example is a right angle, but these angles are complementary, therefore the sum is 90. You add them up, x plus 20 equals 90, and you solve. The next set of angles are vertical angles. Duck, duck. Yep. school. So 2x plus 25 is going to be equal to 50. Set them equal to each other and solve. Angles on a line. They total 180 degrees. Supplementary. So 60 plus 5x plus 5 is equal to 180. Solve it to get the value of the variable. The last one, they give us the information that we need, and that is that the measure of XYZ is 50 degrees. These angles are adjacent. And the equation is 2x plus 30 equals 50. All right, let's use this and solve 1 through 6 if we haven't done so already. Hopefully you have done it, but if you haven't, go ahead and get started with problem number 1. Now, problem number 1, we have, what type of angles are those on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Vertical.
Vertical indeed. All right, so since these are vertical angles, we know that they are what?
Angles are congruent.
They are congruent. If they are congruent, the equation is going to be
3x minus 3 equals 147.
okay then. Did you solve it?
Yes.
What is your solution?
X equals 50.
Okay, keep going. Number 2, what type of angles do we have?
Adjacent.
All right, what is the key information?
Sum is 60.
Ooh, that is important. The sum is 60 degrees. What is the equation?
3x plus 27 equals 60.
Oh yeah, what is the solution?
X equals 11.
Roll Tide. All right, number 3.
Vertical. What?
No, not vertical, number 3.
Adjacent.
Yeah, adjacent, but that won't help us. These are supplementary angles.
Okay.
Angles on the line. So they total 180 degrees. But did you get the equation right?
No.
What do you have for the equation?
Yeah. 1/2
Wait,
x
What? 1/2 x minus 12 what?
equals 48. But now
No, they do not equal each other. They total 180 degrees. So 1/2 x minus 12 plus the 48 equals 180. All right, now solve that correctly and look up to check your work.
Okay, guys.
What do you get when you subtract 12 from 48? 36? All right.
negative 12 plus 48.
Half of x equals 144. Now, half of x is 144. Half of what number is 144, y'all? Half of what number is 144?
288.
288.
That's what I got.
All right, for the sake of time, I'm going to put these up and I'm going to ask you to check your work. If you don't have your work, make sure you write the equation and the solution and come back and do it later. So,
10.4 instead of 10 and 2/5.
complementary angles, vertical and complementary angles,
I got that one right.
So is it both or only one?
both. These are both, you need the fact that these are vertical to put that this is 9 degrees. And then you need that these are complementary to total it to 90.
What did you say about number of bits?
Wait, I don't understand how you
Okay,
do
so
that.
I actually got the right.
Hey, you didn't give me a high five.
All right, take a moment and check those last three problems.
I'm not walking over there.